So I started Amazon KDP in June 2020, and in my first month I earned $27.30. Then in my second month I earned $22.20. Third month, $22.15. Fourth month, $87.69. And in my fifth month I earned $60.35. Now, even in my first 5 months, I wasn't able to earn the thousands yet and quit my job. But I was definitely frustrated and exhausted by all the hard work that I had been putting in, essentially pumping out hundreds of books and thinking that I'm going to get sales. But this got me nowhere as I was just mindlessly uploading a lot of books. And I was earning some money, don't get me wrong, but for the hours that I was putting in and the time that I was sacrificing, I just was not getting the results that I wanted. So if you're in that place, then definitely listen up. And if you're still trying to use this particular strategy that I was using and taught, then this needs to stop. So I see this strategy being done time and time over again. And just as an example, I've gone to Easter coloring book and then I've just filtered it by new arrivals just to show that people are still doing this. And this involves just mindlessly creating a lot of books in a niche with the same interior. Ideally, the cover would be maybe a little bit different in the hopes of getting sales. So if you can see this seller here, you can see the amount of books he has created just about the Easter coloring books. He slightly just changed the cover and then maybe just a few keywords. And you can see that this goes on and on and on. And honestly, it's just exhausting even going through those books. If they have uploaded them individually, then that would have taken absolutely hours, but they've probably used some sort of software to pump these out in the hopes that they'll get some sales. But what's more likely going to happen is that somebody might buy maybe 2 or 3 of these books for their kids around Easter time. Then they're going to notice that, the interiors are all the same, that essentially it's the same book. Then the buyer's going to be really unhappy and then give you some bad reviews for this. And then once the bad reviews start piling up, then buyers will avoid your books, which is simply going to leave you back in the place that you started of not getting any sales at all. And I think when you do go to these extremes, it is pretty selfish, as you're just trying to saturate a niche and fill it out so you can make money yourself without caring about the quality of the books or the buyer. Now, I never went to this type of extreme, and these strategies might have worked maybe 3-4 years ago, but now they're just really clogging up Amazon and making independently published authors look really, really bad. And as you can see, for my first 5 months, I wasn't really going anywhere at all. And I have actually unpublished a lot of those rubbish books. So if you've seen any of my more recent income reports, you're probably wondering what changed. So the first thing that was a real game changer for me was I just started to focus on my areas of knowledge. And the second thing was creating books that benefit each other. So just to explain this first point a little bit more, some people do argue that you should focus on what makes money rather than, maybe what you're knowledgeable or passionate about. But I think if you do focus on what is making money on Amazon, then you're going to fall into a lot of short-term traps. Whereas if you're focusing on what you actually have knowledge in or are passionate about, then you can create something much better and unique to the market. Let's just say, for example, you wanted to create a gardening logbook because you see that they're making money. Now, if you go and create a gardening logbook with your limited knowledge, all you're going to be doing is creating something that is already similar to what's on the market, or maybe pricing your book lower just in order to get sales. Now, even if you hire a freelancer to create the kind of gardening logbook for you, how are you going to know that all the information they provide is essentially true and you can trust the information that they give you? Whereas somebody with many years of gardening experience, or they've been doing gardening their whole life, if they're going to create a gardening logbook, they can use all their experiences, knowledge, and create something unique that the market is missing. So something you can do is maybe go away and write down 2 to 3 areas that you have a lot of knowledge in. So for me, for example, those would be faith, sports, and business. And for me, that kind of goes hand in hand in where I find most of my sales from. But just an important point with this also, make sure that you validate a niche. Make sure that there is money to be made. So it's finding that fine balance between your passion and knowledge and also what makes money as well. Don't go and create something just because you think it will sell well, but make sure that there is a demand for it. So the second thing that really boosted my income was creating books that benefit each other. So in late August 2020, I created a Christian calendar. And then around that, I also created some Christian logs, planners, and notebooks, but these were all quite specific for a certain niche. But then what you'll find happen, especially around Q4, is when the Christian calendar started selling well, then because the logbook would complement the calendar, then that would also be bought, and then people would also be interested in the notebook, and then that would be also bought. So under those books, there would be a frequently bought together, and then they would also show under customers who viewed this item also viewed, and this would cause a lot of these books to be bought together, which would create repeated buyers and also build some kind of brand loyalty as well. And then once you're getting that repeated interest, then you can also look into creating an email list, social media, a website around your books, just to build that brand presence. And this takes a lot more time, and it is a longer term strategy, and it's not something everyone is willing to do, as they just want to make some quick sales on Amazon. But the more I see reviews from buyers saying that you shouldn't trust independent published authors and being let down by the quality of their books, I think creating your own brand and quality of books that people will respect and want to buy is the way to go forward. So thanks for taking the time to listen, and let me know your thoughts about what's working for you and what changes that you've made on KDP.